Good afternoon. We're here today with Tif Boots, who is a wonderful children's author and a poet. She's also a CNA for a hospice and a mother and a wife and a squirrel whisperer. So I know all of you out there that have read her books on Brutus and his friends, the whole series, are excited to meet with Tif today. So Tif, tell us about your books.
My books were originally written for my daughter when she was little, revolving around a couple animals on a big backyard, not necessarily a farm. There's just lots of property to explore. So it's based on them exploring and becoming friends and the problems that they come across and how they solve them. Everything from teaching to swim and, losing balls and helping others. So I plan on continuing the series and making lots more with lots more interesting things for them to solve.
Good, very good. Okay, what inspires you to write?
My children. My children. Some of the innocence of them and solutions to issues that they shouldn't have.
Okay,
To teach them
wonderful.
to use their mind a little better. Speaking of, what do you need?
Nothing.
The
We can
wire's
always
getting there.
Because I'm going to watch.
There's one. She has to be the center of everything.
Of course. Well, she's your number one fan and your number one promoter. So tell your readers how she helps sell your books.
Whenever we're at the grocery store, Walmart, wherever we happen to be, she will walk up to random people and hand out bookmarks.
How
And
fun.
she has to tell them that I am the author and that I wrote the books for her and her sister's my illustrator, and then she gets to be my marketer.
Wonderful. Very good. Okay. So you also have some unusual members of your household. Can you tell us about them?
I do. I rescued a squirrel almost 2 years ago now. And after we released her, she moved back in and had babies in the house. And we released all of them. They all run around my property. One of them was injured somehow. And when I found her dragging herself across my front yard, she now lives in the house with me and chews on everything. She attacks my toes. She really likes attacking my toes. But she's running around the floors here and just kind of living the best life for an indoor squirrel she possibly can.
Apparently, Dad has her trained, and I don't know how he did it.
Okay. Well, tell us, what are some of the next books that you have in line for this series?
For this series, we have Brutus loses his sniffer, and they come across interesting new characters. What else do I got? The turtle that forgot how to swim.
Good.
So it goes through water safety. The animals, it's hot. The animals want to go swimming, and then they remember they can't go without an adult. So they have to go through and find an adult that's not busy that can take them. The little water safety skills mixed in there to kind of help the children overcome the possible fear of water so they can start branching out and learning how to swim properly.
Okay, tell us about some books that you're writing that are not in the Brutus and Friends series.
I currently have I guess it would be considered a young adult novel that I was writing when I was 16. Being that it's such an older style of my writing, I definitely need to fix it. But it revolves around teenagers, 16, 17, that find themselves parentless, basically, but they still have their own houses, and they form their friendships and their bonds.
Okay.
They form their friendships and their bonds and learn how to survive as individuals, as orphans, throughout the trauma of their pasts.
Okay, that sounds fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing that published too. Going back to Brutus and his friends, what do you love most about Brutus?
Brutus is just a typical puppy. He's super friendly. He wants everybody to like him. He's super curious and ends up thinking things through. It didn't affect him that he wasn't supposed to be friends with some of these animals, that they were supposed to be, they're scared of him because he's a predator, and he never thought that way. It was, hey, I need help, or hey, this person needs help, and I should go find out what I can do to make their day easier.
Some of the people listening to you are wannabe authors or are authors, and you do some wonderful things to promote your books. This is one of the reasons why you are ShelteringTree.Earth's best-selling author. Can you share with us some of the ways you promote your books?
I promote mainly on Facebook. Basically, any of the social media apps. I'll make little videos with music and just pictures of my book. It's not an actual video, it's just quick little clips of the books. And I post them on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as well as the neighborhood app called Nextdoor. Making
Very
little
good.
videos out of them so it turns out well. My daughter runs around with bookmarks that, anytime we meet anybody, she hands out bookmarks. And then I've also got my website on the back of my car. So it kind of it makes people wonder.
Very good. And what was that website?
It's bootsbooks.net.
BOOTSBOOKS.net, correct? Wonderful. Okay. And can people find you on Facebook?
Yes, I'm always happy to meet new people through Facebook, although Facebook, Twitter, that they're all one button away from being hacked. So I am kind of selective on responding. I don't do chain mail and stuff like that on it. But if you send me a message on it, I will by all means at least check it out, see what I think, and I'll try and respond if it's something I find appropriate and possible not hack.
Okay, very good. And so children that are listening understand that you need to have your parents' permission to contact Tif Boots, but they can also write to you through ShelteringTree.Earth's website or through the snail mail. So they can send you letters.
Correct.
Yes, and you will be happy to. Okay, for those who are listening that don't know what that noise is, would you explain what that noise is?
That is a ringtone for my phone. Anytime I get a message, it sounds like a squirrel is cheering at you.
Very good. Your illustrations are absolutely lovely. Tell us about them.
In the first book, my illustration was originally done by me. I've actually got the original that, I am not that good of an artist. I can read, I can write, I can't talk. But when I had my first one published, my daughter, who was 17 at the time, she is the one that originally I had wrote the story for. I wanted her to be part of it, and she's always got a pencil in her hand, so she's just fantastic at drawing. She did my original illustrations. In the first book, I was adamant about them. Sorry. I was adamant about them being in color pencil because that's how I originally drew it for her as a birthday present when she was a child. So it was a sentimental backdraft to there. Since then, the second book we did in marker just for something new, see how it looked. The third we've gone with digital, which is easier for her. She's been my illustrator for all of my books, and we're going to continue with that. She enjoys it, and it's nice to be able to let both of my children have a part of something that I created for them.
Who are your book's ideal readers? Who would you love to have read your books?
Quit, please. I had originally wrote them when my oldest one was 1, thinking, it's a fantastic bedtime story. I know that a lot of parents have kind of gone away from the bedtime stories. It's hard to find time to do it. Go away. But I would say bedtime story to 2nd grade. They're great for beginner readers. There's not a whole lot of big words. They're easy font, and it's easy to sound out what words they may not know.
What advice about writing or life would you like to share with your readers?
With writing, it doesn't matter whether you're published or not. It really doesn't. If you want to write something, you're considered a writer. You don't have to be published to be a writer. If it's something that you want to be published, by all means, look into it. Sometimes that door will open, sometimes it won't. With me, I looked into it and I was told, oh, it'd be so much money for X amount of books. As a young mother family, I didn't have that type of money to be spending on books that I didn't know whether or not they would actually sell. So, keep going at it. There are all kinds of people out there, small presses that would be more than happy to look at your work. All it takes is hitting the button. Eventually somebody will accept it.
Okay. And to reiterate what you said, some people expect you to pay them to publish your book, and those are not the kind of people that you should be looking for as an author. You look for the small presses that don't charge you money. They'll pay you royalties, and that's what you look for. And that's what you did. So good. Okay, now you said advice about writing, and you shared that. What about advice about life?
Be you. It doesn't matter who you are. Be proud to be you. A lot of it anymore, it falls into one gender or another, falls into one race or another. It doesn't matter who you are. Be you. Be happy with it. Not everybody's going to like you. It's a matter of survival. You work one day at a time. You go through life one day at a time. You do what you need to do to make you and your family happy and successful.
You mentioned working. Tell us about one of your favorite jobs so far.
Oh, I have had a lot of those, and it depended on the day whether it was my favorite. Growing up, my parents had concession stands at the carnival. As a child, I didn't like it. Not a bit. You know, you would think, oh, she's always at the carnival. She can go have fun. She can ride everything. That's not the way it worked. I was working 16 hours a day at least from the time I was about 6. You know, I didn't have the summer vacations where I get to go hang out with my friends or go to summer camp or, you know, do this, that, or the other. We were working. So as a child, I did not really enjoy it. But looking back at it, I am proud that that is where I came from. You know, it gave me a sense it gave me a work ethic for one, which is lacking a lot anymore. Gave me a work ethic, gave me the ability to know who I am, get a better sense of people. So, you know, looking back, I'm better with money than I would have been if I wouldn't have been doing that. Other job I have had was a corrections officer for a county jail. And that one had its moments. I was always in a fight with somebody. But you meet the most interesting people. As a corrections officer, yeah, there was fights. It was hard. I got pepper sprayed. I've been tasered. I've had black eyes. I've had bruises. I've had sprained everything's due to the fights. But I get to meet the most interesting people. Yeah, you get to meet interesting people. Not everybody that is in the county jails are there because they've done something outrageously stupid. Most of them are, but you know, some of them it's something as simple as, you know, unpaid parking or whatnot. You know, it's 3 strikes you're out. Somebody got caught with drugs. Okay, well, it happens. You either turn your life around from it or you just live that type of life and you're in and out, and I see you a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So some of your readers may have parents that are in jail. Can you give them some advice? How do they deal with this?
That is always a difficult time, whether it be a parent, a sibling, a spouse. It is hard not having that person there. You know, that you're only able to talk to them during certain times, you're only allowed to see them during certain times. It's scary going through the visitation where, you know, oh, they have to check your bag and they have to check this, and you can't physically touch them. So it is hard. You know, the most I can say is if you need to talk to somebody about it, tell whoever is your survivor or your other guardian. It's the word I'm looking for. Let your guardian know, hey, I'm having difficult with this. Can we discuss it? You know, write letters as much as you can. Yes, the officers may read them, but you never know what you may be able to say that is going to change that inmate's view on life. Do they want to continue to be in and out of the system? Do they want to, you know, get out early for good behavior? Do they want to stay out of the drama? Something you say may be the thing that swings them from going down the wrong fork in their roads.
Very good. That's wonderful advice. Because I know with a lot of children, they felt like they were the only ones in the world whose parents were in jail. But they're not. There's a lot of parents in jail, and they're not alone.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so can children write to you for your autographs or for pictures? If they say, oh, I really like this picture, would that be okay if they wrote to you and asked for an illustration?
Yes, ma'am. I would be
Okay.
more than happy to do something like that. I'm sure we can get prints of some of the certain characters made. I've got one, well, you can't see it now, that was drawn for Mother's Day or my birthday. long before the books became published.
Very good.
I'm sure we can get something going with my author or my illustrator, since she lives with me. we can figure something out. I would be more than happy to do an autographed picture. I can sign it. The illustrator can sign it.
Wonderful. Very good. And again, they can contact you through your website or through Facebook or any of your social media, or they can contact you through your publisher, ShelteringTree.Earth.
Correct.
Okay. And that information is inside your book, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Okay. Is there anything that you would like to tell your readers before we close?
No matter who you are, be proud of who you are.
Thank you very much for joining us today about the authors of ShelteringTree.Earth. And you have been listening to Tif E Boots with her Brutus and Friends series and her poetry book and her young adult mystery book that are all going to be coming out in the next year. You can find her books on Amazon and on her website, which was bootsbooks.net. We're looking forward to seeing you the next time with About the Author. Thank you very much.